I hereby open this meeting of the Tyngsborough Conservation Commission under the State Wetland Protection Act, Mass General Law C-131 S-40, in accordance with the Town of Tyngsborough Wetland Protection Bylaw on this day, September 24th, 2023. 26. Sorry, 26. All right, first item on the agenda. 166 Shuburn Ave, map 27, parcel 59-0. DEP number 3091006. Dennis Page, applicant for abbreviated notice of resource area delineation, ANRAD, to verify the wetland resource areas on the property, continued from September 12th, 2023.
Would you like a motion to move DEP number
You want-
3091006 to October 10th?
We can discuss a little bit if you want.
Yeah.
It's up to you guys. You just want to move it? Okay.
That might not become October 10th.
Yeah, well, so basically the only reason I didn't put it straight on the agenda is, well, because she told me today, but in front of you are revised plans to the original ANRAD site plan, and they added some wetland flags up towards the drainage area. But Meredith just wants to go out one more time, make sure everything is sufficient with what was on the plan. So that's why they're gonna do one more site visit, and then they'll move forward. So, yeah, you guys have you can continue.
So you guys want to continue it? I'm fine with continuing it.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Continued to October 10th. Next item on the agenda, 318 Westford Road, map 8, parcel 58-0. Kyle Richards, applicant for a request for determination of applicability for the proposed replacement of a failed septic system to a new 1,500-gallon septic tank with a new 1,000-gallon pump chambers and associated leach fields within the 100-foot buffer zone of bordering vegetated wetlands, advertised in the Low Sun, September 19, 2023.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to have to recuse myself from this item since I'm in a butter.
Thank you.
Would you like to make a motion to waive the reading of legal ad butters list?
Yeah, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved to waive the reading of the butters list and the legal ad. Good evening.
Good evening. Jeff Hannaford, representing the applicant at 318 Westford Road. Before I begin, Emily, do you need the originals of the abutter notifications?
Yes. Do you want me to scan you a copy? No, okay.
As the RDA states, this is for the repair to an existing failed septic system. The system is to the rear of the dwelling. Currently, well, as far as the resource area, I walked it today with Emily. On the south side, or right side, as you're looking at it from Westford Road, is where the wetlands are located. It's a low, flat area. It appears to take runoff from the street. We couldn't see any pipe or culvert bringing water into this area. And as you can see on the south side or along the right-hand property line is the existing well. It's fairly close to the wetlands. That area is all low and flat. What we noticed when we surveyed the lot, and I confirmed today with Emily, is where you see the shed in the backyard, right in front of the shed, what has been done is a ditch or drainage swale has been dug. Going in front of the shed, there's a small section just to the right of the shed where it goes through a pipe, a small 4-inch pipe, and then it continues through that drainage swale over to a pipe that goes underneath Paddock Road. What I suspect is it's such a low, flat area that without this ditch, it probably flooded during high peak times where the well is. And at some point in the past, somebody decided the way to solve that problem was to divert the overflow of water through this drainage swale and let it pass through to the other side of Paddock to the drainage over there. It's been there for some time. The fact that there is a small pipe that goes under Paddock Road, there's no evidence that's been done recently, so it was probably done about the time Paddock and that subdivision was built, as this was one of the frontage lots of that subdivision. So with that, that does fit the definition of an intermittent stream. So that's the closest point to where the work is proposed. With that, the existing leach field is approximately 38 feet from that intermittent stream. The proposed is 68, so we're managing to move it another 30 feet away. We're also going to be installing a new septic tank and pump chamber that will be 50 feet or greater from that intermittent stream. And that entire area between the septic and the intermittent stream is fairly flat. Very slight elevation from the proposed leach field down towards that stream, but it is very slight. The topography is such that where that leach field is, it goes uphill significantly to Paddock Road. Paddock is elevated above this backyard. And there is a depression, a low area in the front left corner at the intersection of Paddock and Westford Road. It appears from the vegetation in there, the trees in particular, that that was original grade, and that when the house was built, they filled around it. We did notice a small 4-inch pipe that exited into that low area. It's aimed at the house, so it's quite likely that's the foundation drain. And when you look at the elevations, it was the only possible place they could daylight a foundation drain. So we suspect that's probably why they left the low area unfilled as opposed to the rest of it. So we didn't want to disturb that area and cause an issue with blocking that drain. But we didn't notice any outlet, so we think that, again, in periods of heavy rains, the foundation drain is able to take the water away from the foundation into that low area and then dissipates in the dry times. So we located the leaching area as close to the low area without impacting that and as far from that intermittent stream as possible. The leach field itself is what DEP has determined to be an innovative alternative type system. Specifically, this is a Presby EnviroSeptic. DEP has approved this as a system with secondary treatment, which means that it treats the effluent to a greater degree than a conventional leach field does. So that does allow us to design with certain reductions that you can't get in a conventional system. Because of the water table, we were able to take a 2-foot reduction to the 4-foot offset so that we wouldn't be creating a mound, which in this case, because of the flat topography behind the house, would have created a situation where we could have been ponding water up towards the house. It wouldn't have a place to get by it. So we opted to go with that for the reasons I stated. And but still, even with that reduction, we needed a pump to get the effluent from the tank up to that leach field. The existing leach field doesn't. It's obviously in the groundwater at this time. So not only are we moving the existing leach field further from the wetlands, we're also raising it up out of the groundwater. So this is going to be a much better situation environmentally than what's existing. So that's the reasons why we chose to put it there and why we chose the components that we've proposed. So if anybody has any questions.
That's it? Yeah. Pat, you have any
Yeah,
questions?
you were showing both these chambers. Are they both staying, Jeff? Because you have one that's 1,500 gallons, then you have another one that's 1,000 gallons.
That's the pump chamber.
Pump chamber. So both of them,
Those are brand new.
those are brand new.
Yep. The existing tank is in light gray, right under the,
At the end of the driveway?
nope, right at the, where the proposed tank is.
Okay, I can see it's underneath
So
it.
that's gonna be removed.
Oh, okay, right here,
Yeah, see the little chamber right there?
Yeah.
That's the existing one.
right here. Okay, so that one gets removed. Okay. No? That was,
Jeff,
I
you
was
have any
I was just
questions?
wondering how this was going
Oh, I
with the
thought
two
that was
tanks.
done.
But I didn't see the third one underneath it.
Yep.
Okay, so that was being removed. Okay.
And I had a question about, when I was going over this, and you spoke to this, but you've got a note up here in the upper left-hand corner about the depth to groundwater. Could you explain that again, just for my own edification?
Sure. This one is, when it comes to any system that's deemed an innovative/alternative system, or IA system for short, in Title V, the way they set it up for these types of systems to be approved, DEP has to approve them all individually. So any manufacturer that has a system that they want used in Massachusetts has to go through a piloting program. There's an application process. There's a piloting program to show DEP what the system's about, how it's performed, maybe in other states or in other tests that have been run. Once DEP's reviewed that, they'll permit a certain number of systems to be installed and monitored over a period of time. Once they've proven that the system works as advertised, then it moves into one of two categories, either general use, which could be new construction or repairs, or remedial use, which is just for repairs and upgrades. But to make matters even more complicated, they decided that since not all of them fit neatly into a category of how they operate, they created a couple of different categories for leaching type systems. Not to make it more complicated, but just so you know, you may see one of these days is, what I'm talking about is for the leach field, or the second part of the septic treatment process. They also make IA systems and have approved certain IA systems that take the place of a septic tank. Those, they are a tank, they have multiple compartments, and typically they have something mechanical about them. Usually there's a blower or a fan and a pump, and it aerates the sewage in the tank. So when you do that, you get a much better degree of settling and treatment that a typical septic tank doesn't provide. So the effluent coming out of those is much cleaner going into the leach field. So those are a whole separate section of approvals. So for these types, like the Presby, what they said was, geez, we've got some that obviously work much better than others. So we're gonna create a couple different categories. So there's drainage only, and then there's secondary treatment. So the Presby, as well as a few others that I know of that have been approved, when they went through that piloting process, they proved that it does clean the effluent much better than the others. So in their approval letter, they say that you can take, as a designer, either a 2-foot reduction to the offset to groundwater, or a 50% reduction in the overall footprint of the system, down to a certain minimum. So depending on what we're trying to do, maybe we don't have much area, but we can meet the 4-foot offset to water table. We don't need the 2-foot reduction vertically, but we're cramped into a small area. We can take up to 50% reduction, because it does function that much better. The way they've worded it, and I'm taking the 2-foot vertical reduction, is, it's worded in the DEP letter that says, a 2-foot reduction can be taken without a variance from the Board of Health, provided that the Board of Health agrees with the reasoning behind the reduction. So I'm only guessing that their idea was, it works so well, we don't want to make it a overly formal process to get a variance to get the reduction, that if the designer has the valid reasoning, if he explains it that way, then the vote they would take is simply, we agree with you, there's no variance needed to go on record. So I don't know if that answers your question, but it is how DEP approves and deals with these things. So that it's,
So it's not approved for general use?
oh, it is, not with the 2-foot reduction.
Okay.
Yeah, the system is approved for general use. It does afford a reduction in size over a conventional stone and pipe system, but not automatically for the reduction to water table or the 50-foot size. That's remedial use only.
And I had one other quick question. In here it says, when a sanitary sewer connection becomes feasible, the owner shall connect the facility to such system within 60 days of that feasibility. Where does that requirement come from?
That's in Title V.
Okay.
Particularly where you have a system that is not in full compliance, which would meet all of today's new construction requirements. Then they say it's conditionally approved, but they consider sewer superior to what we're proposing here. So if it were available, that would be a better environmental protection, so the owner would have to do it.
Well, I want to go back, if that happens, that's a large cost. You just get done building this, right? And I know what I paid to hook up the storage, oh my God.
Yeah.
That is
They want to sewer, not Paddock Road anytime soon?
this is the point. It's just safe, okay. But wow,
Not my lifetime.
I feel bad for the owner. If that did, just say it happens. Because they gave you a short window, where a lot of the septic systems in this town.
Yeah, I
you're
mean,
not-
that's what the regulation states.
Right.
Now, and in order to do that, they'd have to go through a permitting process. It's through the town, the state doesn't administer that permitting about that. So it'd be up to the local Board of Health together with the sewer department to work that out. And knowing the sewer department in Tyngsborough, they'd be helpful.
There we go. I think everything was good, Jeff. I mean, you're kind of limited in with the resource area where you can place everything. There's not a lot of options, not like you can move it here, move it there. You want to keep it definitely away from that well. I've driven down that road quite a bit, so I don't see any issues with the project whatsoever.
I don't know, either made it less non-conforming than it was.
Yes, exactly.
I don't see a problem with it.
I'm good.
Enrique, you have any questions?
The chair will make a motion. to
Or
open public
Jason, you,
portion.
oh, yeah, sorry, you had to.
I'll second
that. Sorry. Go,
He recused himself.
that's what I said, as soon as I said it, I go, are you
I
recused yourself?
second that on opening the public portion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody in the public have any comments? Questions?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to close the public portion of the hearing.
Second on that, too.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Public part of the hearing's closed. Do you have a motion?
Emily, do you have any comments on this?
So I went out on site, obviously, the way Jeff described it, it's definitely a small lot, can't really do much with it because of the resource area. Like he was saying, I think this channel intermittent stream was because the wetlands were flooding the wellhead at the time. By my observation, there's not like any outstanding vegetation in that area besides the wetland vegetation, so, I'm not too concerned about it. But the way that the leach field and where the tank is proposed is further away than it was originally. So I don't really have any concerns about it. And, I mean, it has to get done because obviously the septic is not conformed and has failed or is in the process of failing. So to get it up to date with everything for Title V and everything, to make it safer for leaching, I'm in favor of it.
So we have a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion for a negative determination of applicability for 318 Westford Road, per plan dated August 3rd, 2023.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approved. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you very much.
Next item on the agenda, 37 Bowers Ave, map 32A, parcel 42-40. Gerald Denomey, applicant for request for determination of applicability for the proposed remodeling of existing home, including building an addition above an existing room and renovation to an existing deck. Advertised in Lowell Sun, September 19th, 2023. Good evening, state your name and address,
Evening.
please.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to make a motion to waive the reading of the abutters list in the legal ad.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Chair, I gotta recuse myself, I'm on the direct abutter to this property.
Yep. Go ahead, sorry, Jerry.
Gerard Denomey, applicant. Thanks for hearing me. Mr. Chairman, committee members, thank you. So the project we've got before you is remodel of our family home. And the disturbance we're planning to do near the lake is, we're really trying to minimize that. We've got a finished yard, and the work doesn't involve any excavation. We're planning to put the dumpster in the driveway area. There we've got some good hardscape in the backyard. My father happened to be big on asphalt, so we've unfortunately got some good asphalt, whether, but would be handy in this situation for when we've got to get some work done there, that we've got some stuff that will minimize what we do to disturb the lake. And like I said, we're really trying to just keep it relegated to the house, we don't have any yard work that's gonna happen or anything near the shore. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
I have a question. So I did notice that you guys were gonna extend, I guess, where the deck is back, right?
Okay.
So like
yeah.
where the stairs are?
Yep.
Is it connecting back to, I guess, that mudroom now? Or is that gonna be new decking?
That would be new decking.
Okay,
And I think on the plans, you can see a couple of footings
okay.
that will be dug there, yeah.
How, do you know the length of the proposed deck?
I think it's probably 14 feet, because that's about the length of that room
Okay,
there. Might even be a little bit longer, now that I think of it, because it's gonna go past that room.
Under the deck, is that gonna remain open, or is there gonna be impervious surfaces underneath there, or what do you?
Oh, that would be open, yeah, there's grass there, so it would stay, probably store some stuff under there.
So the section with the detail in it there, is that all new? Is that being built up onto the,
Correct, yes, that's above, there's an existing room that's going to get removed and replaced with that.
right.
Did you say there was no excavation planned?
Correct.
Are the 12-inch tubes gonna be dug by hand?
Yes.
So one of the things I had, I'm just kind of curious about, how much demolition is expected in doing this? And is everything being moved right directly from what's being taken down and right directly into a dumpster, so there'd be no
Correct.
taken down materials stored on site?
Yes, yes, that's the idea, is to get a good-sized dumpster and right away, you know, the hope is to do that this fall, so doing that expeditiously, obviously, is gonna be the goal.
So that's a tight Bowers Half's really small. So the dumpster's going to be on your parking lot, your driveway.
Oh, yeah.
I know you have plenty of room there. It just,
Yeah.
you can't put anything out on that road.
No, there's
Unless
no-
you're moving into Eddie's parking lot.
No. Yeah, it's gonna be tight. I mean, that's the nature of Bowers Ave.
Yeah.
It's packed.
Bruce, you have any questions?
Do you have any questions?
Pat, you have any questions at all?
No, I like the plan. I was more
Yeah.
worrying about where they were gonna put things, but he has a driveway there that
Oh, I know
takes
the-
everything off of Bowers Ave.
Can't even turn my truck around on Bowers Ave.
Yeah, neither can I.
Makes a challenge getting a boat in there, let me tell you.
Well, at least if you could work something out with Eddie, because Eddie has that parking lot across the street.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, it helps. It's hard because you're not the only one on that street. There's people further down that I could hear them screaming and hollering at Eddie for allowing you to park his
Yeah,
stuff out on the street.
How many sonotubes
Is
are
there-
going in?
Sorry, what, ask your question first.
Yeah, how many sonotubes are going in? Do you know
I
offhand?
think there'd be 4.
Yeah.
2 on the side by the laundry slash mudroom, and then 2 on the driveway side.
Okay.
Yeah, so is that the right side? The correct side of the house, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jeff, you can,
Yeah, we're digging sonotubes and such, but is there any need for erosion controls? I didn't see anything, but it may well be,
I mean, if you guys would like to see some wattles put up, across like where the shoreline is, I feel like that would be appropriate. But I mean, if the sonotubes are being dug by hand, I mean, they're gonna be done within a day. But if you guys wanna be on the more precautious side, we can request it.
yeah, no, I don't see it for that. I think more of runoff from the construction, during the construction
Yeah.
phase, not making it in.
Yeah, would you be opposed to putting straw wattles?
Not at all.
Okay, we can add that in.
anybody else have any more questions or comments?
Yeah, and the straw wattles you can just place along whatever open shoreline you have, either within like 5 feet of it or further up towards the house, whatever works better, when moving the construction stuff around.
Okay, sure.
They have a wall there, Emily,
Yeah,
and then it drops down, so they could put them right at the top of the wall.
Oh, yeah, then that works,
Then-
yeah.
Except for the staircases they have going down.
just in case, staircase.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other comments, questions?
This is nice.
Do I get a motion to open up the public part of the hearing?
I'll make a motion to open up the public half of this hearing.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody out in the public have any comments or questions? Uh-oh.
What's going on, Eva? Welcome to the conversation. So, just as Pat was saying, it is very tight on Bowers Ave. So he can put a dumpster in his driveway, and you guys can use my parking lot across the street to park all your cars while you're under construction.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
So that should cover all the construction aspects and
Yeah,
all that stuff.
That's one of my bigger concerns.
Right, and that's, like I said, Bowers Ave, so I think, you know, you could put the dumpster in my lot, but I think it'd be more of a pain for them guys lugging the stuff over there, and more chance to get stuff in the street, but you put the dumpster in your driveway, then park your cars on my property.
Yep.
It'd be easier.
Yeah, we can get it right down in there, you know, right next to where we keep the boat.
Right.
Still on the hardscape, but really close for them.
Otherwise, I have no problems, I think it's awesome.
Thank you.
So Emily, is it
Thanks.
fair to say that we really haven't changed the amount of impervious surface? We're sticking to basically that same footprint in,
Yeah, so basically, there's no impervious change whatsoever. The only real change is this, the couple sonotubes that are going in, but they're gonna be hand dug. I mean, the area is already pre-disturbed, it was lawn/driveway, so it's not like it's, not disturbed. And then the rest of the project is just on the house space and demolition and remodeling, so, yeah, I was just more worried about just the deck and then just overall scheme of the construction of it, just to make sure everything was okay.
and just about the decks, is there gonna be a difference in the runoff in the water that's gonna hit that deck and stream its way down to the lake? Does there need to be some type of drainage put in for that?
So they are adding balcony in that room above, correct?
Yes.
So I assume that you guys will be having gutters attached to it.
Correct.
Yes. So, yes, it might increase the runoff of the roof a little bit, because they are adding an extension to the roof, but with the help of the, storm drains and everything, as long as they connect it to their main system, that I don't think the increase will be significant.
Right, so is that kind of the plan,
Yes.
be connecting into that basic system and
Yes.
stuff?
Yes.
That's all I'm trying to do is,
Yeah.
if significant waters, that
Yep.
we just stop it, or prevent the erosion that
Gotcha,
that
yeah.
potentially could come from, that's all I'm looking at.
Yes, that would be my understanding.
Can I get a motion to close the public part of the hearing?
Make a motion to close the public part of this hearing.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Public part of the hearing's closed. Anybody else have any more comments or questions on the board? Do we get a motion?
Yeah, and I'd like to make a motion for a negative determination for 37 Bowers Avenue, basically for the proposed remodeling of an existing home, but to include also the placement of straw wattles at the shoreline during the construction phase.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, commission determination. 382 Dunstable Road, map 22, parcel 21-0. Rich Gamble, applicant for request for commission determination for proposal to remove 9 white pines within 100-foot buffer zone of the stream. Good evening, state your name and address, please.
Hi, my name is Rich Gambale. I'm my dad's son. I'm here to help him take down the trees. I ran a tree business in town for 22 years called Greenleaf's Tree Service. That was purchased by a company which would be taking down the trees now called New England Tree Masters. They're in Boxborough. I work for them part-time when they're busy. I'm also a Mass Certified Arborist. I showed Emily the trees back on the 10th. We walked the property. There's one tree that's about 25 feet from a perennial stream. All the other trees are in a higher area away from the stream. The way the work is going to be done, there'll be a crane sitting on the garden area, and then everything will be picked up and loaded into the street. There'll be no actual work in the buffer zone. All the work will be in the air and on the street.
Are you leaving the stumps?
Yes. There are other trees in the area, just pulling them out because it's a safety hazard, safety risk to my dad's house.
Walk this, Emily?
I did walk it. What he said is true. So this tree right here is the one that's the closest, so you can kind of see in the back, the stream. And as Rich stated that, and I kind of assumed because we've had so much rain, the soil is starting to get really, really soft in that area. And like he said, that pine trees are known to be more hazardous than other trees. So he was worried about if the soil continues to be more saturated, that with high wind events, that they might fall, and they would fall in the direction of the house.
Is that the issue with all the trees that are to be removed?
So
or-
the other trees are further up. So I know this is crooked, but they're further up, so total, the furthest one is 85 feet. They're further up in a clump, so they're not as bad, but by looking at this photo, they're, some of them are split, and because they're in a clump, that with hazardous winds, if one goes down, they might uproot all the other ones, because they all kind of connect, because their roots are so shallow.
So it makes sense to you?
Yeah, no, it does, and
Well, they're under the crane, too.
yeah, and it's not like this is the only set of trees in the forest. It's a very vegetated forest,
Right.
healthy forest, so I'm not worried that by taking these trees down, that it would be detrimental to the rest of the area.
Pat, you have any questions?
Not just, I would say the bigger part of this is that ground is really soft. and-
Right.
And
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the commission determination for 382 Dunstable Road, the removal of 9 white pines within a 100-foot buffer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approved, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
night.
Good night.
Luck.
Next item on the agenda, 119 Mascupic Trail, map 31A, parcel 31-0. William Look Jr., applicant for request for commission determination for the proposal to remove a tree pushing nearby retaining wall into Lake Mascupic within the 100-foot buffer zone.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, committee members, good evening. Good evening. As he said, my name is Bill Look, my wife Linda Look, and we reside at 119 Mascupic Trail. And our problem is that we have a pine tree that's kind of outgrown its area. And what's happening is, since we live right on the lake, I have a 6-foot stone wall that comes up from the lake, and unfortunately, the root system has grown so much because the tree was big when we moved there in '77. It's starting to push the wall out into the lake, and that's the last thing I want to have happen. So I'm hoping for approval to be able to take this tree down before we end up with more problems than we want to deal with.
Yeah,
So I took the pictures and walked the property just because he's down the street from me.
yeah.
And it is pushing the wall out quite big on the corner, and it is right in the corner of the property. It's hard to tell by the pictures, but it's pushing out some of the big pieces, big pieces of granite, it's pushing it right out.
So, once the tree's down, are you gonna you're gonna have to take the stump out?
Well,
That's the
you
whole
can't,
problem.
you can only grind it down because taking it out would disturb the wall pulling it.
What about, the plan is to repair the wall after the tree comes down too? 'Cause
There's a couple of small stones that already worked their way out that I
Yeah.
picked up from the water, put back
put
in.
it back in, but I can see earth,
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
now.
where the, yes,
yeah.
yeah.
And the root system, even if you cut the tree down, the root system's still gonna draw water.
No, well, pine will die.
It will die
A
out?
pine will not sucker. Pines die, it's a softwood.
Die out? Okay,
Yes.
so,
Pines do not sucker. So it will die.
it's a
but-
big tree.
I know.
It's huge.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm
But to
like,
dig it out, you would be tearing the wall apart as soon as you put an excavator to that stump. You would pull the wall right with it.
okay,
It's either keep it
it's
as a
gotta
stump
come
or
down.
grind, yeah, it's either keep it as a stump or grind it.
Yeah,
it's gotta come down.
Get a grinder in there that close to the water.
you can, but you'd have to put up silk fence and
Well,
tops and everything.
Not about the sub, just saying getting a grinder in there to actually,
Yeah,
to do something.
Right, even if he wants to fix the wall, it's not you have to take everything out to fix
Right.
the wall. It's not
Yeah.
just grinding, so.
Right.
So,
Right.
So you're not looking to fix it for now, you're just gonna just cut the tree
Looking to save it for,
later.
I don't, to answer your question, I don't think the wall is gonna be more of a problem as long as we take care of the tree now. I've seen the growth of that tree since 1977, and I don't wanna be responsible for when this thing gets even bigger and starts putting sections of wall into the water.
Right.
right.
so Bill, can you get a crane in there? Are they able to?
I
get a crane?
already got one person down to look at it, and from what I understand, they believe they can. I have somebody coming up, I believe, this week to look at it from a crane prospect.
Okay.
So we shouldn't have a problem from what I've been told so far.
It's a hazard.
All right, Mr. Chair, like, make a motion to approve the tree removal for 119 Muscatine Trail. You want to leave it in that, with the option of stomping it or grinding it? That way, if we decide to grind it later.
Yeah, you can grind it, yeah, leave the option of grinding it down.
We'll leave the option of stomping it, or if you decide later on you want to grind it.
Okay,
Flush, if you can leave a stump up or grind it flush.
So you can stump it now, and if you decide in the spring you want to come in with somebody come in and grind it down, so you can, you know what I mean, get to the root system, get it out, and then saw over it.
what we were hoping to do is to be able to grind it down far enough that we could put some loom and
Right,
grass
yes,
it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
that's what you can have done.
There's a second on that.
All in favor?
Aye.
You're approved. Thank
Okay,
you.
we should be getting a letter in the mail after this for confirmation, or,
Yes.
okay? Okay, I'd like to thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Okay, thank you.
Next item on the agenda, 39 Middlesex Road, map 28, parcel 108-0. Dennis Borowski, applicant for request for commission determination proposal to add fill to level for additional parking and a rock wall within the 200-foot riverfront buffer zone. Come on up and state your name and address, please.
My name is Dennis Borowski. This is my wife Jean. My business is at 39 Middlesex Road in Tyngsborough. Trying to make a bigger parking area.
Not to interrupt you for a minute, but just for the record, he's a customer and a friend of mine, so I'm just letting the board know that. Go ahead.
So we want to put some rocks down and level the area out so that we have more room for parking.
Where is this? 30.
39, right beside 45.
Church, yeah, right beside 45, right beside 38 too.
Well, yeah, but you know, where Mitchell just put the
No,
new
this
building
is the
up.
one that's beside, right next to Bill Mitchell's.
Just, the-
Which was the dump site.
if you're facing Mitchell to the right, so,
Yeah, when you said, you know what I mean?
yeah.
When you said that, now I understand. You say you got 39 barrels right next to 37.
So, Emily, did you look at this?
Yes, so I went I went out to the site with Ed, and we took a look at it. So basically, the fill comes up and it matches level grade with what the existing, impervious parking lot is at. And then, Dennis was telling me that he used the neighbor's property as reference because when they came forward with the, notice of intent to build that new building,
Yeah.
the landscape people put rocks along, which was exactly at the 200-foot, give or take, riverfront buffer. So he's saying he was trying to stay in line with that, making sure that it was at least give or take a couple feet or a couple inches. It's about the same width. So they're right on the 200-foot riverfront buffer. But he was being aware that he knows that there is a resource area back there, and he didn't want to go any further than exactly where his
So
neighbor was.
That, the fill in the stone wall that's in now,
It's not in now, the fill's in.
the fill's in. So that's not going to affect we have a waterway that runs behind that property.
No, because the
It doesn't.
water, it
It
also.
goes under the railroad tracks,
Yep,
that goes to
right.
Merrimack.
So that's behind the trees that are behind, that
Yeah.
are in this
Okay.
picture. So it's
So-
behind the trees between that and the railroad track, and the water still comes down between the two properties like it always did.
It's not a problem then.
No.
He's within his
Yeah,
right. to do
right.
this.
And it was already a previous disturbed area too, so.
Well, all I know is what we went through
Right.
with correcting that property, and it abutted his property, which made his property look terrible. And I know Mr. Mitchell's went in and fixed everything. He's kind of our poster child,
Yeah, he did a
quote
good job.
unquote, for the mess that was there, so,
Jeff, you have any questions?
no.
Ed, you have any?
No, I think I'm good.
Bruce, you have any?
I'm good.
Enrique, you have any?
I have one more though.
Jason, yep.
You good, Jason? Yeah. Like I said, when we were out in the site visit, when you guys go to put the rock wall in, depending on if you guys are just putting boulders or actually doing the rock wall, just leave a couple inches for wildlife to pass through. And that's my only request.
So we get a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion to approve the request for commission determination at 39 Middlesex Road for the proposal to fill and level additional parking area.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You're approved, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, 17 Phalanx Street, map 19, parcel 83B-0. Mary Dalton, applicant for request for commission determination for the removal of 3 trees that were dead within the 200-foot riverfront buffer zone.
So she could not be here tonight. So I went out on a site visit yesterday, so I took some photos. These trees were cut down earlier this summer. It was a complaint that was called in that I followed up with. So obviously, if it was cut down earlier this summer, it doesn't show exact, like, it's not fresh. But the trees all seem to be about 8 to 12 inches in diameter, so they're nothing big. And the woman was saying that she had her nephew do it because they were dead or hazardous trees that she felt that needed to be removed. And she had no idea that she had to apply for a permit, but that's why we're doing the after-fact permit. So just that it's recorded correctly, because they are within 200 feet riverfront buffer zone of the Merrimack River. So here's one of the trees, and obviously they're just stumps now. There's another one you can't really even tell because it's covered in dirt, but it's like kind of, I don't know if you see my cursor, but it's like right over there. And that's another one. So my bad, there were 4 trees, not 3. So that's the 4th one. And all the stumps were left, nothing was uprooted. There was, yeah, so they left a couple inches of the stump. Says this one was not on the property, but it was cut down, I couldn't really tell, but probably a while ago. My feeling is that it's right, so like when you're looking at this, like right behind your left-hand corner is a telephone pole for Phalanx. So my feeling is that whoever cut it down did it because it was probably interfering with the power lines. But it is dropped like pretty much on the corner of their property, as you can see. But I just wanted to document it in case people thought that that was one of the trees they cut, but it wasn't. That was already down. And then, yeah, so you can kind of see that. That's some debris that I asked if she could clean up. Obviously, most of the debris is from that bigger tree that was just dropped, but she said that she would have her husband come out and clean some of it up. But it is just woody debris. It's not like it's trash or anything. And then, yeah, that's that. It's taking forever. And then in placement, I guess, of where the trees, some of the trees were, is a shipping container now. So I had them file an after-the-fact determination for the trees, just so it was permitted correctly. But I also mentioned to her that if it was at your discretion, if we have them fill out another commission determination just for the shipping container. It's temporary in nature. It's not supposed to be a permanent structure, but it is within 200 feet of the riverfront buffer zone. So I'm gonna leave it up to you guys to think that if we should have them fill out another commission determination just to get that permitted as well, so there's no other outstanding questions in that area.
And if we do want one, we'd put a time limit on it, basically.
Yeah, so it doesn't
Like,
become a
like a year
permanent.
or something. So, you know what I'm saying, if they're using it temporary, then a year or so, you know. It's up to, it's up to you guys.
Yeah, just,
Right.
you never know who's gonna come in and question it, or.
So the trees were dangerous, they take them down, all of a sudden they put a shipping container there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's convenient.
Yeah, that doesn't, all right, let's call it what it is. They cut the trees down to put the shipping container there, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
You sat out saying they cut them down because of the problem, then oh, by the way, there's a shipping container there. Come on. They cut the trees down to put the shipping container there. It's in within 200 feet of the buffer zone.
yeah, so I measured it on our
It's not rocket
GIS.
science to figure that out.
Yeah, I measured on the GIS system, roughly, it's between like 170 and 180 feet from the Merrimack River.
So we can request them to come in for another direct determination with a timeline on it.
So it's a temporary shipping container?
That's what I was told, yes.
Yeah, Eddie, anything that doesn't have a foundation or anything
It's
underneath, it's temporary.
Yeah,
Right,
Yeah,
so-
but how long is gonna be there?
Well, that's why.
That's why it's called temporary.
Well, if they're saying it's only for a few months, then we can put it like
Yeah.
a year limit tops on it.
I can obviously, when I have them fill out the other commission determination, I can have them add within the permit some more details to it, and that's
Yeah,
what I
with
was
the date.
planning on doing, just to get,
So do another determination for the shipping container?
Yes, yes.
And then put a timeline on when it has to be removed. I'm good
And
with
the
that.
reason
I'm good with
people
that.
What do
put
we do
those
from
in
when
is
the
for
clock
storage.
started, from when we expect they are cutting the
That's why they
trees
put
down,
them
or
in.
from the time they come in?
well, the thing is, I don't know when the trees were exactly cut down, and I don't know when this shipping container
Right, this is
appeared.
just to keep everything in the up
It's
and up.
just, yeah, just to keep everything on the up and up, so if you guys did wanna put a timeline, I would probably put it from when the permit was issued, like a regular, permit that we do, from when it's issued to whatever X amount of date, or you just give it a year and we have them check in with us again.
Yeah, I think.
It's something we can think about till they come in.
Yeah, I mean, you guys don't have to think about it, but that's why I kinda left it up to your discretion on what we wanted to do. I do think that it is appropriate to have them fill out a commission determination, because it is within 200 feet. I don't know if it's quite necessary to put a timeline on it, because like Pat was saying, it is temporary in nature, because it doesn't have a foundation, and it is just sitting on the lawn.
So,
Yes,
It's a
it
40
is,
footer.
it's large.
Yeah, you're not gonna,
Yeah, but it's the same thing, building a shed. It doesn't have foundation.
Yes, it would be the same thing as building a shed, it doesn't have a foundation.
Right.
so I don't feel that we should put a timeline on that.
well, since, because it's in the buffer zone, that's why.
I know, but people put those there. It's a shed. That is,
Well, we can have them come in and discuss it, and then we can go
I don't wanna
decide
sit there
then
and go
too,
for a
you know?
timeline, because half the
I only
people in
put,
this
I only
town.
put it out there for another alternative, that's all.
We'll have them come in, we can discuss it.
Okay, perfect, so, you guys wanna make a motion, I'll write it down?
Do we have a motion?
This one here.
So do
Yeah.
one for the trees and then do the other
For
one,
the
so they're
additional.
separate, yeah.
So approve this one and then,
Yep.
okay. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to recommend that we approve the commissioner's determination on the removal of 3 trees at map 19, parcel 38B-0.
Bruce, in the cleanup of the other one that's down.
Oh, there was some debris
The
still.
the larger one next to the telephone pole, you had said her husband was gonna go out and clean it up?
Well, he was gonna clean the debris in the area that was from the smaller trees. I don't know if he volunteered to clean up the big tree, cause I also don't know if it's exactly on their property or not.
Okay.
And, cause she said they didn't touch that tree, so I also don't wanna make them
Okay.
responsible for something that they didn't do.
Yeah, just their own brand.
Yeah.
Sorry, great.
I'm done unless I get a second.
Do I have a second?
And I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
And now we need a motion to have them come in to discuss a direct determination for the container.
For the container, yeah. Bruce, make a motion to do the container.
have them come in to
Oh,
discuss
yeah,
it
yeah,
for
yeah,
direct
yeah, okay.
determination.
In addition, that they have to come in for a commissioner's determination on the container, temporary container that's placed there now.
Do I have a second?
Then I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Because didn't we have that same issue when Bruce first started?
Yes,
The first time we met
yes,
Bruce.
yes, across the
Exact
street
same
from him,
issue.
yes.
So we gotta keep consistent.
Yes, we do.
That's
All
how we
right,
met- That's how we met Bruce, remember?
the next item on the agenda, Jeff, you have to take over.
Aha.
You're gonna sit over there now?
Yeah.
That's it, get the whip. Come on.
So next item on the agenda is 71 Muscuppick Trail, map 32B, parcel 33-0. Ed Derby, applicant for request for commission determination for the proposal to repair and replenish beach that has been washed out due to stormwater runoff within the 100-foot buffer zone of Lake Muscuppick.
I got a question. Are you on the permit from Lake Muscuppick to get beach sand installed every year?
Yes,
So why are you here tonight in front of us?
for the erosion control, what I want to do underneath the sand. When you see the pictures, you'll see why.
Oh, okay.
Just being a wise guy.
I know.
Is your house, right?
Yeah, so my name is Ed Derby, 20 Pleasant View Ave. And, so if you bring up the pictures.
They're all disoriented, so.
Yeah, because I had to go back years. So this has been going on since they repaved Mascuppick Trail. So Mascuppick Trail on the top of the hill used to be all water. It used to get like a foot deep and it would go in everybody's driveway or houses. So when they redesigned the trail, the Mascuppick Trail, they made all the water come down to the stream. Well, they were supposed to put a catch basin there. They ran out of money. So there's no catch basin there. So they decided to do a swale. All right, and I'll show you some of the pictures. So every time we get over an inch or better of rain, I lose my beach. Because the water comes from the right of way through my arborvitaes and takes the wood chips out of my flower bed and wipes out my beach.
Washes it into the lake.
Yes, so this is pictures from when they were doing the construction on the road, that picture. Go to the next one. That's one time it took out my beach. That's my irrigation pipes. That's another time it took out the beach. That's sand where it took it out. That's just a small time they took out, and that's the stream side of the property. That's the swale. This is hours after the storm's done. It's running down the swale and the stream, and that's my arborvitaes. And the next picture will show the water in the arborvitaes.
Oh my God.
You can see the water sitting in the arborvitaes. So that's hours afterwards, after the storm's done, after the culvert's been cleaned, everything. So go to the next picture.
Not all in order.
No, so that's showing the water sitting in the arborvitaes. Sometimes that's another time the beach is out. So right there, you'll see my grading system for the driveway. I want to put that underneath there, like 15, so that piece of granite is 36 feet from the shoreline. So I want to go like 15 feet or so with that, because I still have some of the grading system, and fill it with stone, and then put stone on top with, I have granite posts left over, and then fill that all in with sand. So you have a ripple effect from now on, when any time this keeps happening, because at first the town brought me sand, but every time this happens, I have to get sand or shovel it back out of the beach. Go to the next picture. There's another time where it went beyond. Go again. So that's starting there. So this has been going, like I said, since the road. There's another picture, that's just a minor one. There's another time it pushed it all out to the jet ski stands. You can see this, I put these rocks here last year to kind of slow the water coming through the flower bed. You can see it actually brings the chips right over the big rocks. Go ahead, some more, the chips. So that's right off the road going into the swale and everything. That's right now.
That's where the right-of-way is.
That's the right of way. Right now, that's all.
Wasn't there all rocks over there before?
Yeah, so small rocks. What it really needs to be dug out and have like 8 miners put in there, like a good 10-foot section.
Yeah, because they used to be pretty good. But
Yes.
then after they did the
So there's
street,
more water. That's on my side. It's actually killed my arborvitaes. that and the salt we had on the road this year, because we had all rain this winter. So you'll see, keep going on the pictures, you can see all the needles are falling off it, because they're actually drying. There's more wood chips coming out. So that's the granite I'm putting down. It's like 8 inches wide, 6 inches tall, but it'll be flush with the sand. So the sand will be all around it, so it'll be just so, I have it drawn out on the paper, you'll see further down. That's my arborvitae's right now. They were green last year. That's about 30, 40 grand worth of trees to replace if I can't bring them back. Because there's a swale running this last storm in the stream.
Yeah, you can't walk there anymore.
All right, it actually took the beach out at the, right away too.
Water movement.
Yeah, it seems like I'm over there lots, I mean, it seems like as soon as they did Muscapa Trail over, they just ruined that swale. They didn't,
So
and the
Eddie,
thing is, they tried 5 times to fix that after they
but
first put it
he
in.
said they didn't put the drainage in.
Yeah, well,
That's what you
so they
said in the
were out of
beginning.
money, because that's before I was on the board. It was just, before I got on the board, I was on this side, and I asked Matt about it and stuff, and, they'd run out of money. So they did the swale instead, but this is why, you know, we can come up with all great ideas for stormwater management. When they don't work, they need to be revised.
Right. Oh, no. So
Right.
is it better for you to put the drainage in? Is that,
That's the town's thing, and I don't know if they're gonna have the money. This here would save I think this would work to save my beach, so.
okay,
So if you look here,
it's a shame.
this is my existing stone driveway, this is the granite you see.
Yeah.
So these granites will probably be like 2 feet apart, but underneath will be a stone base, and, you know, and then there'll be like 4 inches of sand. But these will be all flush with the sand beach going down as it is. So I'm hoping, so when we get the rain, that it slows the water down, so, because once you start cutting a pathway in anything, it gets bigger.
Right.
So if you can at least slow the ripple the water down and have the base underneath it for, stability and drainage,
Right.
all right, it can't undermine it.
But you're still gonna have water coming in your yard.
I'm still gonna have water coming in the yard till they can ever take care of the road problem, but I wanna take care of my problem, or try to.
This photo was like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
This-
that's what it looks like right now. Right now, I have a
got a washout
double jet ski trailer sitting in it. So, about 2-3 feet. So once it starts, it keeps going. Usually I'm on it, I'm anal, and I'm throwing it, pushing it, shoveling it all back in, but this year I'm like, I need to come up with a better scenario.
And then it just, like you said, just all ends up in the lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The first time the town brought in 20 yards, that's what it took to take care of it.
they filled the beach.
They put it out front, and I brought it in with my Bobcat.
So Jimmy has,
I haven't asked since, because I was hoping eventually the sand might compact enough and the stones I have around it would slow the effect down, but it really hasn't. We may have had a lot of rain, but this ain't the first time we've had this kind of rain in the summer. So, and we just got used to the drought for 2.5 years. So I'm just looking for a solution. I think the grate will hold the grate, putting the grate with the stones in it, that's what they do a lot of driveways up in Winnipesaukee and stuff. That's what I did. My whole driveway has that grate system underneath it. Will keep everything in place, and then you have your drainage through it.
So Ed, are you gonna absorb the cost of this, or is the town gonna help with?
I've been absorbing the cost, so I'll absorb the cost again.
that's my concern. I'm like, this
Well-
is out of your pocket. And it's really, you didn't cause it.
No, I know, but it needs to be fixed.
No, I understand that, Ed.
There are more neighbors having the same issues? Are you the only one? like
No,
that?
because when it's really raining, you have to go there when it's pouring, the road coming down by where I put the granite curb in front of my property, the water will be 4 inches deep. Coming from the other end of Mascupper Trail, never mind what comes down the hill,
Right.
And then it goes all into the right of way.
goes all into the right of way. So before that was done, we had a little tar sloot that went into the stream. but we never had this kind of water flow, so now it takes it from the whole road and brings it this way.
It actually starts at the Lakeview Ave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and,
I remember probably about 15, 18 years ago, we had a nasty rain, and the house right across from the community center.
got
the rain
washed
came
out.
by that and actually pulled out. You could actually see it, the house was actually, the foundation was
This,
2
yeah.
feet above ground. When the water was done, you could see 5 feet of foundation. The house almost collapsed.
And the other issue we have is, because the culvert's been repaired, they put smaller pipe in it than it was originally in there, but,
handle the
you know,
flow.
it couldn't handle the water before. You gotta remember, I've been there 43 years, so it couldn't handle the water before, it can't handle it now, but we try to keep it, when it rains, we pull out the debris that flows down there, but this is the road damage is what I'm getting.
Right. I think we just give them an approval.
Yeah, let's,
It's gonna be a trial and
the
error.
sad part
Right.
is it's at his expense, which is not fair. He didn't cause the problem.
We'll see if we can talk to the town. see if
Yeah,
we can
I
get
think
some
that-
stone down there or something to help you out.
I'd
Yeah,
like
I
to see
just-
the project before we give approval.
You can go see it.
I just can't tell from these.
You can, these guys have seen it, and Emily's seen it, so you guys are welcome to go on the property anytime you want.
It's a shame.
I've actually been down there when the water's going through and watch it run out. It is horrendous. I mean, there's probably, 3 feet wide of stone to the top of there, and the water's like 6 feet on each side of it, going down like a frickin' river, and you watch the thing just go, and I shake my head. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Jeff, anytime you
First
want,
day,
take a,
No,
it's fine.
They
So
spent,
do you want to approve it and then go see it, or would you like to see it
I'll
then?
abstain if,
No, if you wanna see it, I'd rather have you see it, 'cause I've been dealing with this since, 7 years, 8 years since Miss Scuppick got paved over?
when it first happened, the town tried 4 different things over the years to try to fix it. Everything they did, nothing worked.
I mean, we can continue it, because we do have a meeting the beginning of October, if, as long as, is it okay with you?
Yeah, I don't care,
So-
I wanna get it done. I cannot get my docks out or nothing till this is done. So,
Is time of the essence here for you?
it is and it ain't, 'cause I don't care if it's cold doing it, I don't really.
You're a good man, McGee. It's cold right now, and the other day it's cold.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, we pulled the docks out on Thanksgiving weekend, so.
Yeah, so if some of you guys wanna go down to see it, obviously, Ed said that you're more than welcome to, and then you guys can just make the motion to continue it, and we can just finalize it on the 10th. Cause it's, like you said, it's not too time
Right.
oriented, but just to get everybody on the same page, I think that's the appropriate way to go about it.
You gotta see it, though. You'll be shocked.
Yeah.
Try to catch it on
I'm
a heavy
mad
rain.
at-
It is amazing
Oh, it is,
how bad the town designed it
yeah,
for the 4th time.
yeah.
No, they tried 4 times to fix it.
Yeah, the only way swill work on the edge of the road, you'd have to take out the first 10 feet, the whole width right there, and you would have to put in 2 feet of 8 minus, what material
You need a
under
drainage
it.
system.
The very first design when they did the road
Yeah.
was grass.
Yeah,
No stone, just grass.
Yeah.
You know how long that lasted? About 3 hours. First rainstorm,
Took it
all the
all
road was gone. Then they put small stone in,
Right
washed
away,
away.
right?
Then they put more stone in, washed
Yeah,
away. Then they made more
Been
stone.
there.
Wow.
You know?
So,
Mr. Chairman, I'm the chairman. I'll take a motion for, to push this off till October 10th. Someone make a motion?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
no, somebody has to make the
Someone
motion. Jeff
Mr.
is
Chairman,
on
I'll
the,
make
Jeff's
a
on the
motion
floor.
to continue 71 Muscuppet Trail, map 32B, parcel 33-0 to October 10th.
I'll second that.
Have a motion, a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those pass.
thank you.
I'm just thinking, we should have Jimmy in here for the town because of this mess. This
That's
is,
not even all the pictures I sent Emily and
I
Pam.
think that's the saddest part of
No,
this.
you guys are more than welcome to come look at all the photos I received. I had to limit all
just-
of them because there's
Yes,
a lot.
there's a lot. I kept track of it just so it ain't a one-time thing, that's all.
Okay.
Right.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Next item on the agenda, right-of-way Farwell and Middlesex Road, request for certificate of compliance. DEP number 309-0430, order of conditions issued 8/27/1997.
That's not bad, it's only 26 years.
This one is a, you guys would be voting on giving a partial, COC. The sale of 6 Highland, so the homeowner is selling the house, and the attorney reached out to me because when they pulled up records of the order of conditions, it was, the order of conditions for 6 Highland was tied into, 315 Middlesex Road, so that's, Serenity, Maximilian's, that parcel, and then it was also tied into this right-of-way from Farwell to Middlesex. And when I was talking with the attorney, I was like, the only way that that possibly could be tied into is, because the developer developed both, parcels.
And tied them together.
And tied them together, because, so they needed the right-of-way from Farwell to Middlesex when they built Highland, because it goes in between the both of them. And then 315 came up, and I don't know why it was tied to it, but like I told the attorney, the only reason I think it is tied to is because the developer is the same for both that parcel and Highland Street. So by issuing this partial certificate of compliance, it will, gets favor in with the homeowner, so everything paper-wise on their end is correct, and they can move forward with the sale.
So how do we get a full certificate of compliance for the whole project?
Applewood Construction would have to apply for a certificate of compliance since they were the developer.
Yeah. No longer.
What, are they bankrupt? He's,
No, and that's the other thing is why it's so, I guess, sticky, is because that development was never issued a certificate of compliance. So none of those lots were ever finalized all the way. And this isn't the only one on Highland Street that has it. I'm pretty sure 14 and another one also had to do a partial when Danielle was here, because the same thing, when they were selling the house, it popped up as well.
So what I keep getting is, as people sell the houses one by one.
Yep.
Yep. And it's just because those, somehow, all the orders are kind of tied in together, and nobody really knows why. So, but by issuing the partial one, it should be fine for the sale of the house.
So how do we word this partial?
It's just, you guys issued a certificate of compliance, and on the certificate of compliance, I just click the partial certificate option as the, on the,
Or the original order of conditions?
yeah.
Right, on 309-430.
Okay.
so are we gonna have to do this for everyone?
When they go up for sale, yes.
Well,
When they go up for sale.
yeah.
If the attorney catches it.
If the
If they,
attorney's got it.
yes. So he did a deep dive, and when I was originally talking to him, I was like, it really has nothing to do with the house, but if you wanna make, if this is the way you wanna go, this is what you have to do.
Right.
Or like Pam suggested, he can go ahead and file for the whole subdivision if he wants, cause it's just attorney representing the subdivision, but he was like, I'll just do the single house and move forward with it.
Right, 'cause they're trying to probably close this next week.
Yes, exactly.
Right. And if they don't get this tonight, then they can't close till next month,
Yep.
basically. All right, Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a approval for certificate of compliance with DP number 309-0430, but there will be a partial certificate just for 16?
6.
6.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All right, next item on the agenda. No minutes to vote on, so we can't do that.
Want to go to new business while we got these guys here?
Yeah, okay, yep.
Do that before we get anything else.
Okay, new business. Topics the chairman did not reasonably anticipate would be discussed. You can come forwards, please.
Hello, Gerard Denomi, 37 Bowers Ave. I believe what we're gonna talk about is, we found an encampment in the conservation land the other day. It's pretty ugly. I'm not sure how long they were living there. It's quite a mess. It's right at the end of Bowers Ave where you get to that piece of conservation land right by Sequoia. We reached out to Tyngsborough Police, and one of the officers went out there and took a look at it, and there's evidence of, people were living there. And it's kind of scary because there's a lot of people that walk out there with their kids and everything. And, I don't know how long they were there, but it can't be a good thing. It was a real mess. There's, looked like they were, I don't know what kind of drugs or whatever was going on out there, but I worried about fire too, that if you're living out there, you're gonna start a fire. There's just a whole bunch of stuff, so not sure what happens in that situation, because it's a decent walk from the entryway to the woods, and, it's a giant mess. There's, a couple of tents out there, there's some bikes, there's tables, a whole bunch of trash, and it's a real shame, and I'm not sure how do we address that as neighbors
Well,
to
actually,
steward that?
It was good you called, because actually I talked to Emily on Monday morning, and by the time I talked to her, the Tyngsborough Police had reached out to her.
Okay,
And like they told you guys, they call conservation, and they checked with her, so they're gonna have the highway department go out there and dispose of everything, go up there.
Yep.
I'm not sure if I haven't been out there since.
yep.
I was gonna go tomorrow, actually take a look to see if they had gone out there and done that, because that's not the right assumption.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I was greeted Monday morning. I forget the officer's name, so my apologies, but they informed me of it. They appreciated the call. I appreciate you guys calling them first and
Yep.
foremost, because that is not a situation you want to get yourself involved in, or involve anybody else in, because it is hazardous. But they are gonna work with Jimmy and the highway department to remove it. They just wanted to confirm with me that they didn't need any paperwork or permits from my end. And I was like, nope, you can go ahead and remove what you need to remove to get rid of it. And they were saying that they think they know who
Okay,
or
yep.
multiple, so they're gonna investigate it on their end.
Right.
And I think myself living there also too, I'm gonna start taking walks down there at least once or twice, once a week or every other
Yeah.
week. But same with you guys.
Yeah.
I know you said, Kath, you're nervous. We can't stop going down there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Our best thing is to be down, if you see it, like I said, when you come by my house, you told me, call the police. And they came right away, they took care of it. And we don't want that to turn into all of a sudden,
Yeah.
A campsite.
Campsite.
Yeah, they
I have-
can't
I
make a
have-
campsite out of it.
Conservation.
Absolutely.
I haven't been in there since last year for the pallet issue. That's the last time I was in there.
Yeah.
And I'm now thinking back when that, because it was about this time last year when we had the guy that came in that was doing was making like a pallet path and like a
Yes.
dock. Did he ever mention about seeing any
It
of that?
wasn't there, I walked the whole
Okay.
property.
So
I
this
did-
is like recent.
Yeah, I
Okay.
did, for the pallets, I did walk the whole property all the way up to the houses, way down wherever it goes. I didn't pay attention, but I walked it all.
I'd say this is within the last month, because that's about the last
Yeah,
time I was out there.
about that, because I told Eddie, I noticed some clothes hanging on the brush, and I just figured the kids were out there camping.
Yeah.
Along the lake, when last time I went out in the boat with my son. And,
Yeah.
I noticed clothes hanging, well, kids must have been out there camping. Didn't put two and two together. Didn't think nothing of it, because kids used to do that,
Right,
you
yeah,
know?
my kids are young, my kids are young, they go out there on a Friday,
Yeah.
they bring a little tent out there, they stay out overnight in the woods right down the street from the house, no big deal. But when you set up a whole tent city.
Yeah.
Oh,
right,
yeah.
There's clotheslines hanging up there, people drying their clothes, and.
And you just think of them,
Elderly people walking through there, they get nervous, and they're right in the paths.
there's people with their little kids, and I don't know what kind of, I mean, I don't know, they
We could-
burning anything, using
we
torches.
could speculate all
We can
evening.
speculate all the horrors that it could be.
Right.
I mean, I feel for people that are down on their luck, that they're thinking to do that, but that's not the place. That feels cruel to
Right.
allow that out there, so.
Yes.
So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Guys,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
like I said, if you see anything else,
Yeah, let us know.
call the Tyngsborough PD.
Appreciate your attention with that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys, have a good night.
So, no correspondence, right? No?
No, but I guess on that topic, the police department said it definitely wasn't, it was a sticky situation.
Yeah.
And they were like, we're gonna remove this ASAP.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
No,
What was in there?
it was I'm glad they found out because now I'm nervous. It just makes me spiral into all our other pieces of property that are kind of not overlooked, but not as paid attention to, so.
But
I'll
at
have
least
to-
we have a say on it.
Yeah,
That's the,
Well, that's
'cause-
conservation land.
That's
Yes.
that's what I mean, we have a say on it.
yeah, no, and I'm glad the police department came right to me on Monday morning.
Well, they were, they called, actually, they're my next door neighbors, so she came up, they went out for a walk in the woods, they came back, they saw it, they called them, they talked to me, we know it's conservation, what do we, I said, call the police right
Yeah.
now.
Thank you.
It's
They were out
squatting.
there- They were out there in 20 minutes,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Wow.
They
Yeah.
responded, walked the property, and when they came back, told me it was in, I was horrified.
Did they find
I don't wanna
needles
say on
out there?
TV what was actually in there.
I don't think so. He didn't specify on anything.
Okay.
But
say
just the
much.
way his body language and I honestly, I was just like, you don't need to go into detail. I can picture in my head,
Yeah.
I've seen camps like that in Nashua before and it's sad. Yeah, but, I will actually, speaking of that, I will call Jimmy tomorrow and see if they went out.
Yeah.
Taken care of.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, any more new business?
Motion to adjourn?
One other thing, sorry.
It's okay.
We call it Tent City. So this was a request, from the applicants that are putting forth the module classroom, at the Voc. They're, and I don't wanna say the wrong thing, they're, in a rut with the planning board right now. For outstanding reasons that the planning board is asking them to provide. The applicant that is headlining this asked if you guys could provide information on why you guys were in favor and why you decided to choose to move forward with this project. And I'm gonna write up a letter and provide information from what they submitted to me, in favor of this project to hopefully show the planning board that other boards like us, did diligently look at the project and were in favor of the project, so,
Went out and walked that with them.
yeah,
I'm in favor of it. I mean, it's a school,
Right.
all right?
They need it.
They can't add on the top because then they have to bring the whole school up to compliance. Putting this addition on makes it ADA compliant for the gym and the pool there. It's not a foundation, it's on pillars. The whole place is in a floodplain.
Right.
So, I mean,
Foundation there.
it's not for profit. I mean, it's a school. It's not townhouses or condos being built for someone to make a fortune off. It's a school for blue-collar people to learn.
But it met the performance standards.
Yes, it did,
I,
yeah.
and that's one
We
of
all
the
went
things
out
people
there.
need to understand too. I mean, this is the law.
Yes.
You know, I mean, these
Yes.
performance standards and everything are put in place not only for us to have a guidance, but to provide
To do it.
applicants a way of doing this.
correct
stuff.
way.
So,
yeah, I was really hoping Linda would be here tonight, actually, cause I saw her on Friday at Matt's goodbye party, and she was saying how, she's been trying to help them too, so I was hoping she would be here tonight, but maybe I'll give her a call, tomorrow to see if she has any comments about that. But yeah, that's basically what I told Eric, is that they met our performance standards. We had SWCA review.
Yes.
The project. They came back with comments, and they were due diligent enough to fix everything, change some of their plan to meet what, SWC wanted from them. They followed our request for the plantings. They made sure the compensatory flood storage was somewhere that wasn't already flood storage. And like I told the, guy when he originally called me months ago asking if it was gonna be feasible for them, and I said, as long as you put the building on pilings and you have X amount of impervious surface added, but you provide compensatory flood storage in an area that's not already storage, then it's gonna meet the standards through the Wetlands Protection Act, and you guys aren't gonna have a problem. And that's why I told him, I'm like, I think it's feasible for you guys to move forward with this if you do that. And they did, so that's why I was very impressed with them that they decided to do that. So, but I'm also gonna include some of the stormwater, calculations and everything, cause I guess, the planning board thinks that they didn't do the 100-year,
It's not the planning board's position to look at conservation issue.
Look at the stormwater management.
yeah, stormwater management.
Stormwater management, they can.
Cause they have their peer review engineer review everything too, from,
And as far as we're concerned, SWCA, we can't say enough about them for our peer reviews. They're very thorough. We've had no issues with their reviews.
yeah. Does
You know-
anybody else have any comments on that project, what you guys liked about it? Anything to add?
We're all for it. We all walked it.
Said it perfectly.
He did, yes.
Yeah, we all walked it. There wasn't an issue.
No, and I totally agree. I just, he was kind enough to reach out to me to see if there was any information that you guys could provide or any information I could provide to basically persuade the planning board to have this project move forward. And I feel bad for them because the longer they wait, the less likely they're gonna get the grant for
The
the money.
grants, yes. I mean, we let,
Grant's obviously a big
So
portion of the
you
project.
do what you have to do, and if we all have to sign your letter,
Yeah, if you guys want to, that's great.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's fine.
If not, I mean, I told him I would just sign, I would put a draft document together, whether it's a letter summary and then some additional documents to associate it with it, but I would sign it up. But if you guys wanna come in and also sign it,
I do, I think, because we were all part of it.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I do plan on having it sent to him on Thursday, so if you guys wanna come in Thursday afternoon, if that works in everybody's schedule. If you can't,
I won't be here.
Jeff,
DocuSign.
DocuSign. No, it's okay. I will,
Just send a text.
yeah, I know. It's okay. And Eric knows that you guys were all in favor of it too, so it's just convincing of the board members. So anything that can help them move forward,
Yeah, okay, no, we're all for it.
yes.
Yeah, send a message.
Okay. So before we close the meeting, I would like to thank the town and Colin coming back to work for us. It's a big deal for all of us. We're really happy.
Yes.
You have no clue.
No, I do have a clue, but
You have no clue
Yeah, so,
how great Colin is gonna be for this town.
yeah, but I
He's
just think that he needs to be recognized for it.
Oh, yeah,
And
trust me.
I thought in the beginning he wasn't gonna come back, and I had mentioned one day that with him and Ron Cohen, and I said that he should be in this position. And, oops, he left the town, and I was bummed out. We were all having breakfast, so I'm glad you're back. Thank you.
We all are.
Thank you.
Trust me.
So
Okay, that's my piece.
It's funny, cause I called him this morning at 6:45.
I went to see
No
him Monday.
business.
There's only two people I call, there's only a couple people in the world I call
That
at
was old
6:45 in the
business.
morning.
Okay, good.
we get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Thank you.
Meeting adjourned.